Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to this video. So for today's video I'm going to be doing my December wrap up, and I had an okay reading month. It started out good, ended good, but in between there were some books that I just didn't enjoy as much as I thought I would. In total I actually completed 11 books, but that also includes some graphic novels. But I'm still proud of myself because I was not in a reading slump in December. There was just so many other things going on. Christmas, I had a lot of work. Yeah, but I definitely got through some books. That's for sure. So some of the books I have on me, some I don't, because sometimes I borrow them at the library. The first book that I completed in December was Behind Closed Doors by B.A. Paris. I rated this 5 out of 5 stars. This was so good. I actually went into this book having really low expectations because I've heard mixed things about this, but I loved it. This is like just up my alley. I loved this book so much, and I'm definitely getting more into thrillers after this. Just like I was giving thrillers a go, and this just made me wanted to read more books like this. It was really good. So I actually have an entire review for this book that I will link down below so you can go and check that out. But this is mainly about Jack and Grace. They are married. People think they're happily married, but in general Jack is kind of keeping Grace isolated from the world. She is kept locked inside a room unless they have stuff to do together. She's not allowed to do anything on her own. She's not even allowed to go to a public bathroom alone. And Grace has this little sister that she basically raised herself, and every time Grace is trying to do something to escape, Jack is always using her little sister against her. And this is a very good book and I will definitely recommend it. A lot of people say that you don't really have that strong connection with the characters, which I must admit is kind of true. I didn't really feel a strong connection to the characters as well. I had a bit of connection with Grace, but not really the others. But I just thought everything else except that was really, really good. And I know a strong connection to the characters is important, but I just felt like the entire story was so good that I still just loved it a lot. So that was the first book I read in December. Now it's just gonna be in a random order, so I hope that's fine. The next book that I read was If I Was Your Girl by Meredith Russo, and I also rated this 5 out of 5 stars. I had the chance to meet Meredith Russo actually, and I did. And I am not 100% sure if this book is a little bit of a reflection of her own life, and if it is, how much it has reflected her own life. But there are definitely some really important things in this book. So this is about a girl called Amanda. She was born as a boy called Andrew, but she has then transformed herself into a girl. She starts at this new school, she gets a lot of new friends, and she meets this boy, and she's really going back and forth whether she should tell him that she was actually born a boy and all of that. And then there's just a lot of things going on, and there's also some family stuff. Her father is having a hard time accepting that his son is now a girl, and it was really, really good, and I will definitely recommend everyone reading this. The next book that I completed is The Night Circus by Ergen Morgenstein, and this was so good. So I rated this 5 out of 5 stars. There has been a lot of hype about this book, and I waited 2 months for this to arrive. I ordered it on Amazon in October, and it finally arrived, and I just read it like immediately. I don't even feel like I can tell you what this is about. I just want you guys to read it, jump into it, not knowing like really anything about it. That's what I did. I only knew that we were dealing with a circus. That's it. And I felt like I liked that I didn't knew more about it, that I just jumped into it really having no expectations. Well, I did have expectations, but I didn't really knew what it was about. But it was so good. The next book that I read in December was My True Love Gave to Me. This is 12 different holiday stories by 12 different authors. I rated this 3.5 out of 5 stars. Some of the stories I really liked, and I thought they were really cute, and I had a strong connection to the characters, and it was good and everything, but there were definitely also some stories where the author just completely lost me. And I cannot remember exact which stories that were by which author and all of that, but overall I was not disappointed necessarily in this book, but This was just a book that I thought I will love this because I love YA contemporary books, but yeah, no. I liked it, but there was definitely a lot of things missing for me. Maybe, and then on the other hand, I'm just not good at short stories collections, really. I suck at it so bad. Like, I really do. I'm good at keeping, like, hold of one story through one book, but a lot of different stories kind of sometimes confuses my brain too much, I think. Another book that I also read in December that I finally got around to is Illuminated by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff, and I rated this 4 out of 5 stars, and yeah, this was also a book for me that I just didn't really get. First of all, this is science fiction, and that's not my thing at all, but a lot of people were saying that even though you don't really like science fiction, you will still enjoy Illuminated and Gemini. They're so good, blah blah blah. I do get what all the hype is about, but this was just not really my thing, I guess. But then again, I rated it 4 out of 5 stars because there were still a lot of things in this book that I did really enjoy. But the whole space thing and all of that were just not my thing. And then also I know a lot of people like that there are so many, like, yeah, I don't even know how to explain it. It's just not text, but there's a lot of different things in this book that people tend to like. I also did, but sometimes it also just confused me a bit more. Yeah. But I'm still gonna read Gemini, and that is mainly because I already bought it and have it on my shelf. But I liked it, but I'm just not on that hype train as everyone else is, basically. Because I know a lot of people love this trilogy. I know it, and I like it, but I don't love it. The next 3 books that I read is the first 3 books in the Mates and Dates series by Katie Hopkins, which I read when I was younger, and it was my first series ever that I read. And I just read it in Danish when I was younger, but I just decided to read it in English this time, and I love them. I rated all of them 5 stars. The first one is Mates and Dates and Inflatable Bras, I think it's called. But that was really good. The second one was Mates and Dates and Cosmic Kisses, and the third one is Mates and Dates and Designer Divas. I love this. This is probably more set for an even younger audience than YA. These girls are not very old. The problems that they have are not the problems that the girls and guys have in the YA contemporaries that I read now. But they're still so cute, and it just brings back a lot of memories to read them again. Then I read this book called Edward Hopper by an author called MF4, I believe. This was a very short book. I rated this 3 out of 5 stars. Edward Hopper is one of my all-time favorite painters. He's so amazing. I love his art. And I wanted to know more about him as a person, so I decided to read this book. It was really, really short, and I felt like this was definitely, once again, more to a younger audience that doesn't, because it was really easy reading. There's a lot of pictures, there was this timeline, this was not a huge deep biography. This was just all the basic facts about him and some of his like most popular pictures that he has ever painted, but it was still good. Then I read 2 graphic novels. I rated both of them 4 out of 5 stars. The first one that I read is called Stitches by David Small. This was really weird, actually. First, when I went into it, I was kind of like, what is this? What am I reading? I thought the art was really weird, but this is about this young boy. He, at some point later on in his life, in his teenage years, I believe, gets this cyst or whatever it's called on his throat, and it gets operated away, blah 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 blah, and then later on he finds out that he actually had cancer. There was just a lot of things going on, and it was an interesting graphic novel. There were also some things with his mom and his grandmother. I didn't quite get that part, I think, but it was still good. The last graphic novel and the last book that I completed in the month of December was My Friend Dahmer, by an author's name that I'm not quite sure I can pronounce, but it's called Durf. Yeah, I butchered that name so hard, I think. So, maybe you know who I'm talking about when I say Dahmer. Jeffrey Dahmer. I don't know if you know that guy. He was a serial killer, and I personally, I'm gonna sound so weird right now, I am very interested, I don't like it, but I find it very interesting to read about serial killers. Not necessarily the things that they do and what they have done, but more like why they do it, what's going on in their brain, what triggers them to do stuff like this. More like the psychological part about it. I really enjoy it. I think it's very exciting. And I have read a lot about Jeffrey Dahmer. I've watched a lot of documentaries about Jeffrey Dahmer. I know a lot of things about him after watching and reading so many stuff. And when I saw there has been made a graphic novel about him, I was so intrigued. I mean, that was exciting. And actually the author went to the same high school as Jeffrey, and actually not was like friends with him, but they were familiar with each other. They talked sometimes and hang out a few times, and I felt like that was quite interesting. The graphic novel focused on his life before he became a serial killer. It focused on more like how his family life was, how he was in high school with other people, and kind of also a little bit how his thoughts worked, because he had these weird fantasies. It was a good graphic novel. I thought we were also going to hear more about his life when he was a serial killer, not necessarily the part before, but I thought it was very interesting to get more like an insight of how he was as a person. Yeah, I liked it, and I rated it 4 out of 5 stars. So, and the art was good as well. I really liked the art, actually. So that was my December wrap-up. I read some good books. I read some okay books. Didn't read any like bad books, but some were definitely better than others. And I finished my I finished December month with reading Night Circus, and that was just the best way to end the year and the month and everything. And yeah, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!